or what money they will need. And now what we are doing in our business analyst score is that we are actually incorporating the weather algorithms, for next year, and saying that if these things happen in this area, even by zip code, we should be ready, we should be prepared for that. And the other thing that we have done with our lending partners, and one example is Axion USA, we actually started bringing them on board 3 years back, and as of now we are proud to say that we have reduced the time of approval from the application. The customer gets to see what amount they get and what rest of the final documentation they need to produce within half an hour of completing an application, and that's fully automated. That has brought down the cost, that has also lowered the default rate. And the other thing that now we are doing is that we are also working, and we have just launched an SBA platform where not only can you do smaller loans automated, but you can also do loans up to $2 million almost fully automated. And why I say almost fully, because SBA still doesn't accept e-signatures and some of the other digital stuff. So the key thing there is that we are working with banks, we are working with micro lenders, we are working with alternative lenders, and the key is that we are trying to benchmark it and also showing the customer everything. So like we show the repayment data to the customers. So let's say they take a daily product like OnDeck, or a monthly product on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And we also tell them that if you're paying on time, how your business analyzer score is improving, and how next time you should be eligible for a lower cost or a better product. So like what you need to do to move up the value chain, I think that's important. And as other panelists have said, more and more people have to go in that mode where they should be helping the business owners to figure out the stuff instead of just trying to sell the product that they have in hand. And I think the other benefit of that is that we have been able to launch new products. So one example is we launched a institutional platform where we are able to offer now 3 to 4 year term products at rates anywhere between 11 to 18% a year, monthly payments, and going up to $1 million. And there we are able to underwrite and approve the loans within 3 days and close it within 10 days. Now that's really was not done ever. And what we did was that we took all the SBA criteria, automated it, and then pulled all the data from other places. And we said, okay, this is private sector, there is no SBA bureaucracy, so we can at least implement the technology credit scoring models there and give more money to the Main Street businesses at an affordable cost. And I think that's what we are trying to now go back to SBA, go back to CDFIs and saying that this works and we should be able to do it with you guys.
So Gustavo, rather than make you the last of the same series of questions again, let me throw out a new question, and we are running towards the end of the hour, and I want to save a little bit of time for audience members as well. We've talked a lot over the last hour on various examples of technology, various examples of how organizations have innovated. I'd like the panel to just share your views on how do you move forward? What are the ways then that this community sitting here before us can start to partner with or integrate or leverage some of the insights that you have, some of the examples that you all have seen around using technology? Specifically, is it partnership? Is it white labeling products? Is it developing from scratch? What would be your recommendation on next steps? Gustavo?
Still a tough one. So, I mean, I'm an advocate of sharing services, and I'm all for getting together and share infrastructure to reduce the cost of transactions. But that's not an end. It has to be a means, right? And you have to do it right. There has to be a good fit between the organizations joining. And the question, I would say the most important question that we as leaders of microfinance institutions have to answer is, how is that business is going to be conducted in the future? And what's the role that I'm going to play? And then make a conscious decision. You can make a choice of achieving scale and start going that route, or remain a smaller organization, local organization with high impact there. And that's valid as well. We are talking about scale, so recommendations about that is to it's not about the organization or the system or the program. It's about the clients or the people that we are trying to service. And so who takes the credit on that? I mean, we have to be more generous than that, right? And think about, well, how do we address this problem better?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty simple answer. I think that it really starts not with technology, but with you all. And we talked about collaboration yesterday. So I think that you look at AEO, you look at Connie, you look at Tammy and others, they're leading. But honestly, they can't do anything on their own. And they can sort of bang the drum. And Mitch's example this morning was interesting, bake sale, and it kind of got a good laugh. But think about it. Think about that as an example, and the only way to really move forward, we can build the best technology platforms in the world. If no one uses them, there's no impact. And by the way, the technology that we're building can't improve, can't get better without people using it. We learn every single day. And one of the great things about what we're trying to do is make the technology better so we can invest time in figuring out what are the next needs that small business owners have so we can build new products. We hire a lot of people. We do have a lot of, as Mitch mentioned, engineers and data scientists, but we have a lot of customer service people. Small business owners want to talk to somebody, and that's great. Taking a loan for a small business is a big decision, and so they should be able to talk to somebody. But the question is, how are you doing that efficiently? And that's where I think you have a big advantage. People walk into your doors to some extent, and you go out and meet them in the community. And together, if you focus on that as a core strength and understand that you might have to give up and stop doing some of the things that you're doing, as Janie mentioned, when it's a great example. But if you have an underwriter and you start using a platform like MMS, or you start participating in the Tilt Forward program, they're going to have less to do. And that's a good thing. But that's change, and change can be hard. So, I would say it starts with sort of acknowledging that you want to do more, and then understanding that you've got to come together and look for solutions that will work across all of you collectively. And if you do that, I think you'll have a huge impact on your communities.
I really don't have any more to add than that. I want to underscore and support what you just said, James. For us as practitioners, if you think about it, we have these discussions back in San Antonio a lot about, are we really software providers, platform providers, or micros and small business lender, right? So we wear a lot of hats, and so the discussion is, what are we best at? Well, we're best at making these loans by using the technology that we have. And so the question then is, maybe, in terms of partnership, we were already starting to talk, maybe MMS could be on Tilt Forward, right, as a product for others to use. And so we're going to have those conversations about partnering and how do we do that. And I have to thank Grace Fricks for bringing that up yesterday and saying, why don't you? And I thought, oh, okay, let's talk about it. So partnerships is the way to go.
No, I think partnerships is the way to go. And the second thing, the key thing is, as CDFIs, you are on the ground. You work with so many different businesses. And as I said earlier, the country is changing. There's a lot of different groups, who are starting businesses, different languages, different approach. So what like I have learned over the years is that, it's not just the technology. It's also how you approach that, how you educate people, how you actually just, make it easier, because different groups will behave differently even online. We do a lot of work with women entrepreneurs, and actually we have seen women entrepreneurs have less propensity to click on paid ads and go and fill out an application than, looking at other success stories and talking to someone before they will go and do it. So I think those are the things, and that's the approach, partnership approach, that we can learn a lot from Axion, say Texas on the Hispanic stuff, because that's one of the fastest growing markets in the country, pretty underserved still. And I think those are the things that, we are always looking, because the technology can be a enabler. And our philosophy is that underwriters should not be replaced, but underwriters should be enabled to do smarter jobs with the technology, not just at the time of underwriting the loans, but also in monitoring it. Because once you monitor it, that's where you learn a lot, and you can tweak your models and can do a lot more stuff. So I think that's our philosophy always has been, not to replace them, but to empower them.
All right, so by my clock, we have 2 minutes, and perhaps AEO will let us go a little over our allotted hour. If there are questions from the audience for our panel? All right, going one more time. Any questions from the audience for this panel? All right, well, thank you very much. This has been a terrific discussion, and we really do.